Hey YouTube, I'm Kenneth Ryan.
I'm Lindsay Resap.
And welcome back to another exciting episode of Fanfiction Friday. This week we're going to be reading a theater fanfiction. It's from William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It is called Patience Perforce by Benvoliio.
Benvolio.
There's
There's
two eyes.
It's Benvolio, but with two eyes.
This is a Mercutio Tybalt. Tybalt. PWP.
According to the internet search I did on how to pronounce his name before we started this.
So we don't fuck it up. So the summary is, I warned you, bitch face, Tybalt glowered down, contemplating which eye he should blacken first. Mercutio squirmed, but couldn't escape Tybalt's knees, straddling his calves. Tybalt rather liked this angle. Mercutio's perfect hair splayed like a halo in the dirt, his stupid polo vest exposing his chest that rose and fell unevenly as he caught his breath, and the line of his hips through his jeans that really did not leave much to the imagination. Holy shit, fuck.
So they just took an excerpt from their fanfiction, so you'll read that again in like 5 minutes. Maybe not 5 minutes.
Oh, I don't think we need to read the notes for this one. None of them seem.
Nah.
Yeah. All right.
They wrote a PWP.
So, yeah, Chapter 1. Tybalt.
This is like a quote from the play, I'm assuming.
Patience perforce with willful Choler meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. It's probably different if you want to be in verse. Whatever. It's from the play.
Act 1, Scene 5, lines 100 through
101. Yeah. The day was hot, and Tybalt Capulet was abroad? The few townspeople he passed on his way to the fencing court were shading their eyes with their hands to squint through the shimmering air. Nobody spoke beyond minimal passing pleasantries. Everyone focused on getting home, getting indoors, getting out of this damn sun.
I mean, it's not like you have air conditioning. What's going inside going to do besides put you in shade?
That's probably the best they can do. Tybalt strode on past buildings that looked half melted.
No.
The air so thick it felt more like swimming.
Okay.
He scowled at a browning patch of coriander, right?
Yep.
Oh, cool. In somebody's front garden. Sweat trickled uncomfortably down his back. He tried unsuccessfully to convince himself it was the first few drops of a brisk rain shower.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm sweating. No, it's rain.
No, it's rain.
It's not like you're crying.
It's rain. Oopies. Punching his way through a withered tangle of coral orange rose bushes.
Why is he walking through rose bushes?
His destination was in sight. Finally, he shifted his gear bag onto his other shoulder and sighed in anticipation of the cool, rejuvenating interior of the fencing house. Stepping forward into the street, Tybalt found himself turning before he even registered the footsteps as his instincts kicked in. Milliseconds later, Mercutio was pinned under his forearm, grinning mischievously.
I'm just going to read with like a normal voice because I don't feel like doing anything stupid.
Go for it.
Afternoon, Capulet, he said casually. Fancy running into you.
I think we should just read this with our regular Midwestern because that is what, from a lot of theater things I've been a part of, there's more evidence that suggests they sounded like Midwestern United States speakers than with the RP British dialect. Fun fact.
Fun.
So, yeah. Anyway, sorry. There's your little theater fact.
Tybalt grimaced, seeing his chances of a refreshing fencing practice dwindle to zero.
All right, asshole. What do you want?
Only the pleasure of your jovial company. It'd be a shame to waste such a beautiful day like this alone.
I beg to differ. Mercutio laughed, springing to his feet. He had apparently determined the incessant heat would be conquered by abandoning most of his clothes, leaving him in only a low-hanging pair of tattered jeans and a polo ripped down the middle into some kind of makeshift vest that would make anyone else look like they'd been knocked down a hill after being hit by a truck.
Oh, so it's just like normal times?
I guess.
Because there's a truck and also a polo. I don't know, they called them polos back then.
Maybe I should have read the notes.
The notes didn't say anything about that, though.
I don't know. Of course, Tybalt
So I guess
noted.
they do have air conditioning.
I guess maybe we were wrong the whole time. Of course, Tybalt noted, Mercutio looked like he just left the set of a glamour shoot.
Yeah, it's very obviously not in the past.
Oh, yeah. He pouted slightly as Mercutio ran his hands through his perfectly tousled hair. Why couldn't the heat make Mercutio as miserable as it did the rest of the world? He was unbothered, untouchable. What a piece of work.
Yawn. I was thinking we could go to the boardwalk. It's supposed to be this warm for a couple days. May as well make use of it. Mercutio began to wander down the sidewalk, and Tybalt, despite his intentions otherwise, fell into step beside him.
That's a 6-hour drive.
All the more time to spend with your favorite person in the world, babe. So they're dating.
I guess.
Mercutio coaxed, draping an arm lavishly over Tybalt's shoulder. Moi. Okay. Or is he just calling him babe to be annoying, maybe?
I don't know, that's incredible, though. Moi.
Moi.
Okay.
Tybalt twitched a grin before shuffling free.
I'm sure there are far better contenders for that role.
Yeah? How come you have so much free time, then? And why would you spend so much of it with me, if you actually have friends?
I have friends, asshat, Tybalt huffed.
Sure, Jan.
Oh my god.
Sure, Jan. Mercutio stuck his tongue out. Tybalt rolled his eyes. Friends that only hang around because you might kill them if they leave don't count as friends. Tybalt folded his arms, ignoring the twinge of genuine hurt.
At least I don't hang around Montague dogs like you, copying your every move as if you're some kind of role model. Idiots. Mercutio laced his fingers behind his head, walking backwards.
It's like a TV anime move.
No,
Walking back with your hands laced behind your head.
Yeah, well, this is, slice of life anime.
Yeah. You say as if, like I'm not the prime example of a citizen of Verona.
A perfect specimen.
Do I detect a hint of sarcasm, Capulet?
Just stop, Tybalt groaned. He didn't mean physically stop, but that's exactly what Mercutio did.
Stop what?
That. Trying to rile me up. Not today.
Why?
Stop. God, why did Mercutio have to be so insufferable? Sometimes he just wanted to find a way to keep his stupid mouth closed.
Shove your dick in it.
Maybe if he hit hard enough, he could knock a few teeth out. That'd shut him up for a while. If only it wasn't so hot. If only it wasn't so fucking stupid hot, he'd break his nose that second. Mercutio stared, grin wide, but something sharper behind his eyes.
Why? Tybalt lunged, and Mercutio was on the ground again.
Say why again. I dare you. Tybalt growled, one hand digging into Mercutio's windpipe, the other clenched in a fist above his head.
Why? Mercutio choked out, before wrenching himself free of Tybalt's grip and twisting so that the subsequent assault only glanced his shoulder. Fuck, that hurt!
I warned you, bitch face.
So here's the line from the summary. This entire thing.
Oh, yeah. Tybalt glowered down, contemplating which eye he should blacken first. Mercutio squirmed, but couldn't escape Tybalt's knees straddling his calves. Tybalt rather liked this angle. Mercutio's perfect hair splayed like a halo in the dirt, his stupid polo vest exposing his chest that rose and fell unevenly as he caught his breath, and the line of his hips through his jeans that really did not leave much to the imagination. Holy shit. Fuck. Tybalt's eyes were still affixed to Mercutio's waistline, and the
I don't know this word it means.
Demesnes that lay adjacent.
I don't know how the E is silent.
I really have no idea what that word is.
Demone.
That lay adjacent when a blur of movement, a heavy force, slammed into his abdomen and he found himself flat on the ground. Mercutio leaned down, his foot pressing into Tybalt's chest as he brushed the point of a fencing rapier under Tybalt's chin.
Enjoying the view, Mercutio smirked. Tybalt swallowed as his own blade traced his jugular. He'd enjoyed towering over his arch-nemesis, but this view is better. Far better.
Immensely. Mercutio dropped heavily onto Tybalt's chest, but Tybalt hardly noticed because suddenly their lips were crashing together, and Mercutio's fingers were tangled in his hair, and Tybalt had to push him away to gasp, wait, to breathe, indoors. They stumbled towards the Aeschylus estate, abandoning Mercutio's polo vest and Tybalt's fencing doublet in their wake.
Stripping on the way to the building.
Oh, God. After slipping through a side door, Tybalt turned towards the stairs to Mercutio's room, but Mercutio shook his head and whispered, "Too warm," motioned cellar, and led him down into the basement guest bedroom.
Your guest bedroom is in the basement in your cellar?
I guess.
Apparently. Chapter 2. NSFW, you've been warned. Also, how the hell did this turn out twice the length of the first part? WTF. I guess I'll
Alright.
There was a pause. A moment of silence, heavy with anticipation, as Mercutio locked the door. And then they collided explosively, like fire and powder, each kiss overpowering and all-consuming. Mercutio snaked his arms around Tybalt's torso and slipped his hands into his back pockets, grinning against Tybalt's lips as he fished out a few small foil squares. You came prepared.
Tybalt's breath caught in his throat as Mercutio's teeth moved to his jawline, and then traveled slowly down to his collarbone. I couldn't very well leave it to someone as impulsive as you, now could I? Mercutio's eyes flashed and he cackled.
Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Put the condom on, asshole. Unless you want me to impulsively do it for you. I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
I
He
guess.
brought his knee up between Tybalt's thighs, and Tybalt shuddered, stifling a moan. A second moan was less successfully smothered as Mercutio's fingers slid under the hem of his jeans, sliding them to the floor along with his underwear. Wearing jeans now, okay.
Alright.
Jeans and a fencing doublet.
This is about as successful as the Romeo and Juliet that was set in, like, contemporary 90s, like, beach culture or whatever.
Yeah. It also makes me think of is it like a manga version at the Horicon Public Library?
Oh.
Where it's got the dialogue and, like, talk about blades and stuff, but the drawings are, like, Japanese people. One's in, like, a samurai family, and one's in, like, the mafia. Except it's not mafia, it's the
Yakuzas. Oh my god,
and
that's incredible.
They're, like, shooting each other with, like, guns and swords.
That's
guns.
That's insanity. I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh my god.
But, yeah. So it's got, like, the normal dialogue, but I think that one movie was kind of like that too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Like,
yes. I think so too. It's been a very long time.
Since, like, watching it in high school.
Yes.
Anyways. Underwear. He moved quickly, eagerly, to deal with the condom as Mercutio grabbed a second and began to pull off his own jeans. So they're both wearing condoms. Ooh, safe sex.
Oh.
We should have read them the tags.
One of the tags was, if Mercutio and Tybalt can practice safe sex, so can you. So take that to the bank.
He moved quickly. A second. Mercutio turned back around, and there he was. There is it. Tybalt had never seen any body so sublime. He gazed longingly at Mercutio's skin, still glistening with sweat. Although Tybalt had long ago forgotten the boiling heat of the sun outside. Yeah, you're in the basement, it's cold. Now, the warmth radiated from his core, and from Mercutio, and his wandering eyes gave way to hands as they fell together once more, this time tumbling onto cool sheets. What do you want, Capulet? Mercutio sighed as Tybalt let his hands roam free.
It's Tybalt, you bastard, and I want you. Tybalt whined. It's Tybalt, you bastard, and I want you. Is that more of a whine?
I'm not really sure who's going to be topping, though. I assume Mercutio based on the summary.
Both.
But now, yeah, they might switch. Healthy relationship.
The bait and switch.
Kind of like that last one with the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god. Let's not remember how that was an hour and a half of Yu-Gi.
Yeah. Even people with anxiety don't enjoy spending time in the mind of someone with anxiety.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, you're just giving me war flashbacks to what it's like to be myself.
Anyways. But yeah. But they did, like, randomly have him top, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. It's always a fun thing to have in fan fiction where they subvert expectations or whatever.
Well, it's just nice because it's different, you know, and It lets you get away from the fucking same old,
Yeah.
you know? Anyway.
The like, Japanese seimei-uki relationship.
My
of, like,
seimei is an uki. Check that out.
That's a war
That's a
flashback.
Fanfiction Friday for you.
With the Toad voice.
Naruto and Sasuke, boys.
Sasuke!
Oh my god, we are off course.
Which also now makes me think of the Star Wars fanfic because of stupid
Stacy.
Stacy. Anyways.
It's Tybalt, you bastard, and I want you, Tybalt whined.
Fine. Mercutio sat up, swinging a leg over until he was kneeling in front of Tybalt on the bed. He grabbed Tybalt's hand and began kissing up his arm, his shoulder, his neck, until their lips met. You got me.
Oh.
Tybalt looked down. His hand was resting limply on Mercutio's dick. A dick move.
Oh, fuck you. Tybalt began stroking Mercutio's length. This is not what I meant, and you know it.
Yeah, but fuck, it feels good, Mercutio moaned. Keep at it, baby cakes.
That's a name.
That's a nickname. Pet name. Tybalt rolled his eyes and moved closer to Mercutio.
If you call me that again, I will kill you.
Fine by me. Oh! Tybalt liked that sound. He liked that sound a lot. He wanted to make Mercutio make more of that sound.
Okay.
So he applied both hands to the task, nipping at Mercutio's chest as he moaned into his hair until he pushed him away. Like his chest hair? Or
I don't know.
No, wait, it was Mercutio moaning
I think
into
Mercutio's
Tybalt.
moaning into
There we
Tybalt's
go.
hair. I think is the image.
So that's like... That's your head would have to be pretty flexible.
Pretty, like...
Unless he's like at the collarbone level. In
Oh,
order
I
to
don't
mow
know.
into his hair.
I don't know. I
guess
don't
unless
know.
it's, like-
Otherwise it's like looking straight down.
Like how big is his head? I mean, it's not that much of a stretch, I suppose, but anyways. You just have to be kind of high.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways.
The dialogue.
This is Mercutio.
Yeah.
Enough! It's your turn! Tybalt grinned from where he'd fallen back against the pillows and the headboard, satisfied. He opened his knees and stared invitingly.
About time.
Whatever, asshole. I'm gonna make you wait a little longer, though. Tybalt frowned.
Why? Laughing, Mercutio replied.
Look who's asking why now. The tides have once again turned, Tybalt Capulet. I'm going to make you beg. Nice.
Oh.
Tybalt felt a thrill run through to his toes.
You wouldn't. You can't.
Oh, can't I? Mercutio moved closer on hands and knees, crawling between Tybalt's legs until their faces were inches apart. We'll see. Mercutio kissed Tybalt gently, achingly slowly, simultaneously running light fingers up the insides of Tybalt's thighs. Tybalt heard a soft, sickly sweet noise, and it took a moment before he realized it had come from him. Mercutio continued to trace his fingertips higher, closer and closer to what was becoming a tightly coiled mass of heat and sensation, but never touching quite enough.
Fuck.
What was that, love? Mercutio smiled knowingly. Something to say?
No, Tybalt replied. Not to you, asshole.
Mercutio hummed, brushing another line of kisses up Tybalt's neck.
Next. There's multiple necks.
Neck. Well, I must say, this is quite different from our usual interactions. Wasn't it just earlier today I had a sword at your throat?
Well, yeah.
Yes. So they're not in a relationship? I'm still not sure.
I don't know. I have no idea if they're together or not. I mean, they're obviously, like, doing things together, but, like...
Yeah.
Is it a holy relationship? Is God smiling on them? That's the real question.
Mercutio's teeth grazed contemplatively against his skin, and Tybalt moaned, his stubbornness beginning to falter. Mercutio moved his hand upwards again, trailing lightly over Tybalt's member, every movement creating ripples of barely contained pleasure. That was quite enjoyable, he mused, tracing the lines of a smiley face with his left hand. I'm sure you certainly felt it was exciting.
Fuck, Mercutio, Tybalt gasped.
What? This desperate already? Patience, my dear, sweet Tybalt. Mercutio sat back, and Tybalt had to stop himself from whining at the absence of his hands.
What are you?
Susie a couple days ago. Anyway. He reached over to the bedside table and slid open the top drawer.
What are you doing? Tybalt asked harshly. Every inch of skin that Mercutio had touched was twitching from phantom caresses, but before Tybalt could reach down to compensate for the lack of sensation, Mercutio slammed the drawer shut and moved back into place.
Not so fast, my love. He produced a slender lilac tube from behind his back. You'll get your turn, but not just yet. Close your eyes.
But, Tybalt protested.
Close. Close.
Okay.
With an infuriated huff, Tybalt obeyed. Is this like lotion or is this lube? Do you keep lube in your basement guest bedroom?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I think in the comments it said they use condoms and
Right.
lube. But also they could just be referring to like lotion as lube.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out soon, I'm sure. Maybe it's KY, like, hot and cold.
Yeah. Tingly for him.
Her pleasure. I don't know.
Several painfully long moments of silence followed, and through his haze of need and impatience, Tybalt imagined Mercutio looking him up and down, deciding the best location for this next round of prolonged, torturous foreplay. Despite having seen the tube and quickly deciphering Mercutio's intent, Tybalt jumped all the same when the silence was broken by the pop of the lid opening. He flinched again when the first drop of cool, smooth lubricant hit his chest. How's that? Tybalt could hear the smirk in Mercutio's voice. Cooling your temper? It was doing the exact opposite of cooling anything. Every drop was sending fresh waves of boiling blood coursing through his veins. His eyes flew open, but he kept his mouth shut, not trusting his growing need not to emerge in the form of a humiliating whine. He wanted Mercutio, wanted him so badly, and any last reservoirs of self-control were quickly draining away. Mercutio seemed to recognize this, his stupid and raging grin growing wider as he signed an M with his finger through the mess of liquid.
Is he fucking Shadow Mario from Mario Sunshine?
I have no idea.
Do you know what I'm referencing?
No.
Okay, so in Mario Sunshine, Shadow Mario has a paintbrush and he paints like little M's as graffiti all over the city, and like one of your jobs is to get rid of them to make the like Pintas happy or whatever. So anytime I like, this is just like, is that what he's like? M for Mario.
M for Mercutio, or he chuckled, M for mine.
Okay.
Or Mario.
Let me tell you something, Mercutio. People don't belong to other people.
I mean,
That's slavery.
It's a kink some people
That
have.
is, I know. But, ugh.
Oh.
M for mine. Whatever.
Yeah, okay. This is not the dynamic I expected, but
Right?
okay.
This is like subverting my expectations, actually.
It's
But
fun.
in a good way.
It's nice. Tybalt realized he'd been holding his breath.
Mercutio. Exhaling heavily, Tybalt attempted to regain his composure. He'd tell Mercutio exactly what he thought of this little game. He'd show him, if only words weren't so difficult. Mercutio. Fuck, I won't. He gasped as Mercutio trailed slick fingertips over his lips. You'll never. He cut himself up. Mercutio was sitting back again. What?
That's you.
What are... It was so hard to think, let alone form coherent sentences. Every neuron in his brain was consumed with want, and he was becoming more of a mess every second. Mercutio only smiled, eyes bright and lively, content to let Tybalt continue to make a fool of himself.
What?
Why couldn't he speak? How could Mercutio reduce him to a sniveling, mewling kitten with just half an hour and a bed? Words failed altogether when Mercutio began to empty the tube onto his own erection, the excess liquid trickling down onto Tybalt's thighs. This prompted a sound somewhere between a shout and a sob. What?
He's very sensitive.
I don't... Is that like a shout and a sob? I don't even know what that sounds like because I don't know.
Really loud sob, basically.
And Tybalt's hands flew once again to alleviate the now throbbing tension before Mercutio intercepted them. Tybalt growled, grabbing at Mercutio's hips. His thighs trembled with forced anticipation.
Ask me to, Mercutio commanded. What do you want from me, Tybalt? The dam broke, and all of Tybalt's words returned in a babbling, pleading rush.
I want you to fuck me.
Nice.
I need you to...
Please.
Please. Please fuck me. Hold me down and fuck me, Mercutio, please. Mercutio grinned and leaned down, drawing Tybalt into a kiss.
That's more like it. Tybalt moaned in reply, pressing his lips against Mercutio's teeth.
Why are you so fucking hot? Fuck, Mercutio. I love you. I love you, please.
So they are together?
Mercutio looked startled, and Tybalt sighed, pulling Mercutio on top of him. Please, he whispered into Mercutio's mouth.
Whined.
My love, my life. Please.
You just don't want to whine it?
No, so it's a whisper this time. The confidence returned. This is the book to screen adaptation.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, did you throw your name into the goblet of fire? Dumbledore asked calmly.
Yeah.
The confidence returned to Mercutio's expression, although Tybalt could tell he was genuinely touched and more than a little surprised. Anyone would be. The Tybalt Capulet of the streets wouldn't be caught dead with words as soft as those in his mouth. And that's how he felt. Soft. Not physically, he still had a raging boner after all. You have subverted my ability to make a joke, you assholes. How dare you expect me to go there? But Mercutio's kiss had transformed his need from a pot on the verge of boiling over to an echoing cavern filled with music, and Mercutio had the score.
What?
A touch became a crescendo, a brush of lips, a triumphant cadenza.
I think it's cadenza.
Cadenza? I don't know what that means. Everything was gold-tinted and rosy, and Tybalt was content to let Mercutio have his way with him. Mercutio entered. Finally! Finally! And Tybalt cried out loudly,
Did he even
joyously.
him?
Yeah, or fuck! Yes, Mercutio, that's it! He bucked his hips encouragingly, trying to match Mercutio's slow but purposeful rhythm.
I don't know that he ever fingered him, did he?
No, they're
He
going
just kind of like drew on him.
right in.
He just kind of drew on him with lube.
Yeah, no, he's going right in. Mercutio heaved a few uneven breaths, seemingly having to concentrate to keep control.
Say it again. Tell me how it feels.
It feels like heaven. Keep fucking me, love. You can do whatever the fuck you want to me. I'll take it. I'll take anything. Fuck! Mercutio moaned, his steadfast, patient facade finally chipping away. Tybalt could tell he wanted this as badly as he did, if not more so. He pulled Mercutio's face closer to his, attempting hot, open kisses between pants and moans. Laying back down into the pillows, he guided Mercutio's left hand to his neck, followed by his right hand to his wrists, crossed above his head. Mercutio's long, slender fingers easily wrapped around both of Tybalt's wrists. Tybalt reveled in the parallel between Mercutio's other hand splayed across his jawline and their similar position in the dirt earlier that day. Those roles were now gloriously reversed. He grinned, gasping quickly between breaths when the pressure on his windpipe lessened, and whimpering in pleasure when it didn't. Mercutio's moans became less restrained, more desperate, and his pace began to increase and destabilize, their hips fumbling out of sync more often than moving in unison. Finally, Tybalt felt the space between waves of pleasure becoming almost undetectable, and the honey-sweet, coiling pressure in his core began to build exponentially. Mercutio looked absolutely wrecked, his eyes wine-dark and drunk on pleasure. He imagined his appearance as much as the same. He cried out as Mercutio thrust deeper than before, and he felt his internal symphony approaching its climax.
Ooh.
Mercutio suddenly released his neck and wrists and fell on top of him, hips rolling fervently. Tybalt gasped, tangling his fingers in Mercutio's hair.
Fuck. Tybalt. I'm thinking that second fic in that.
Fuck. Mario Biden, a Zootopia fanfic.
Yeah.
What a good one to just stumble upon, honestly.
A gift. Anyways, Mercutio came first, quickly prompting Tybalt to follow suit. And for a few sublime seconds, that was all that existed in the world. Mercutio and Tybalt and Mercutio, entangled in a rapturous ecstasy. They lay where they were for a few quiet, blissful minutes, until their vision cleared and their breathing settled. Intense orgasms, dang.
Yeah.
Then Mercutio rolled off of Tybalt and sat up. So, he grinned. Better than fencing.
Shut up, you ass. Tybalt grimaced as speaking disturbed the bruises that were already starting to form around his neck.
Ooh, have fun hiding those.
I said shut up! Tybalt threw a large pillow at Mercutio, knocking him backwards onto the bed. But he knew the upturned corners of his mouth gave away his jovial, afterglow-induced state of mind.
Hey! Mercutio emerged from under the mass of cotton and stuffing. Keep that up, and you won't be having sex with me until the sun burns out.
Well, with the little lesson you taught me today, that shouldn't be so long of a wait, Tybalt smirked. I think I can handle it.
Asshole. Mercutio shuffled over beside Tybalt and draped an arm over his chest.
Your favorite asshole.
Mercutio left.
Oh, Mercutio laughed.
That's true. Relaxing in each other's warmth, they spent the rest of the day together in bed until the sun set, and they snuck out of the Aeschylus estate. Once again, creatures of the outside world, they tore through the still of the city together, looking for trouble in the darkness. The streets were mostly empty, but Tybalt didn't doubt they'd find something to entertain themselves. And if not, well, there was always the boardwalk. 6 hours with Mercutio seemed like a piece of cake. God knows he'd learned how to be patient. The end.
And that's the end. Oh, excuse me, that was a gross burp.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Well, this subverted my expectations in the best way.
Yeah, because earlier we were deciding who was going to be what character, and he said I should be Mercutio because I googled how to pronounce Tybalt, and he wasn't confident in not saying it the wrong way.
Well, because I always thought it was Tybalt.
Yeah, and then I said that he usually ends up being the tops anyways, so I guess it works. But then it wasn't.
I'm surprised because Mercutio is such a bottom, even in Shakespeare's writing. He's basically like madly in love, it seems like, with Romeo. Mm-hmm. And even if maybe that wasn't the intent, you could totally play it that way, and it's justifiable.
Yeah.
So, you know,
wild.
I just expected him to be a bottom because that'd be canon.
Especially because Tybalt in the summary even ended in the fic was like straddling him and...
This was a bait and switch of the best kind, because I'm not mad that they did that. Yeah. You know? Sometimes I get mad when there's baits and switch.
Tybalt's like the jock.
Yeah. Well, Mercutio, he is a twink.
The jerky cousin of
Uke
Juliet.
and Seimei. My Seimei is an Uke.
Yeah. Except a little less weird.
Yeah. Oh, much less weird. Much less weird. Well, honestly, kudos to you.
So leave kudos.
Yeah, let me hit that.
Leave that. Kudos.
Kudos to you,
Benvolio.
Anyway, that was Patience Perforce by Benvoliio. Don't drag out the O's. Well, probably just Benvolio. Obviously a fan of William Shakespeare.
But someone probably had that username or something, so they had to add like an extra letter.
Oh yeah,
possibly.
That's how these usually happen. But yeah, kudos. I enjoyed this. I don't know.
Yeah, safe sex.
It was a good PWP. You know, it did what it was supposed to do, and it did it well. So yeah, if you liked this video, be sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. We have awesome new Fanfiction Fridays every Friday. And beginning next month, actually, it's a little thing that I'm deciding to call Soulmate Month. So for the entire month of February, we will be reading Soulmate AU fics.
Yay.
So stay
The
tuned
question
for
is,
that.
what kind? Words, red string of fate, the seeing colors for the first time,
Oh, we can toy with all of them.
being able to hear each other's thoughts, being able to write on your skin and it appears on the other person. God, I've read too many of these. What other ones? One of those stupid ones where it's like, a goose appears and leads you to your soulmate, and you have to try and not get murdered by the goose while it's leading you to your soulmate.
So clearly you can tell we have an expert, and we're going to be reading some real good ones.
Hopefully.
But yeah, stay tuned for that. If you have a fic you would like us to read on the show, please leave it in the comments down below. And yeah, until next time, stay awesome, read more smut. Goodbye!
Bye.